All right. So listen, I'm gonna give a little intro to what we're about to talk about instead of just jumping right into it, because this is a funky topic. I've never presented it like this before, so I just want to backtrack a little bit. You may remember when I first introduced myself to you guys that there were some logos, the Nikes, the Disneys, right? So I got a chance to work with some amazing companies, and the shit that they do is awesome. There's Nike is the best marketing company on the planet. Disney, one of the best storytelling marketing on the planet, right? It works on people like you, and you need to sell to people like you. So before we do this, we're gonna talk football a little bit. You got Andy Reid and all these great coaches drawing up all these amazing plays, and these guys, like, there's some really crazy shit that goes on out there, right? But in the end, whoever blocked better, whoever tackled better, which is the shit that you learn on day one as a 5-year-old when you walk out on the football field, you start blocking, you start tackling, right? That is often who ends up winning a football game. There's a buyer's journey. Everybody is at one of 3 stages. I'm either at the awareness stage. I don't know shit about fence. Never bought a fence before. You're my first conversation I've ever had about fence. 85% of all search traffic is an awareness level search, meaning these people are gathering basic information. So it's your job to present answers to basic questions and move them and educate them. And now this is where I highly disagree with salespeople across the world, because these are the same guys that say this is a cold lead. This dude's not ready to buy, right? He's not ready to make a buying decision. Dude doesn't know shit about anything. He's not ready to buy. Still, it's awareness. Consideration now. Now I start getting aware of features and benefits, right? Specific things. I start thinking about the specifics of warranties and, are you licensed and insured? I now know this is a thing, right? So this is now a consideration stage. I'm going to the next level. Features and benefits, next level shit. Does your website address next level shit? This is stuff that has to be there, right? You gotta answer the questions. The reason people don't finish making a buying decision is because they don't have the answers to the questions that they have. Final one is the decision stage. Only 4% of all traffic on the web at any given time is estimated by Google, this is Google numbers, is they are ready in this decision stage to make a final buying decision right now. I now have gathered enough information. Now I start going into trust. Do I trust you? I'm ready for the fence. I know I want a vinyl fence. I know I want this color, this style. I've made these decisions. Now I'm deciding on you. Or I might be deciding on, do I want the dogwood style versus the other style, whatever. But we're making final decisions at this point. But like on a web page, you work your way down. So at the top of the page, we're starting to hit awareness level stuff. Vinyl fence, what am I doing? Vinyl fence, wood fence. So wood fences are great, they're beautiful, So you start talking about, some of the key benefits of wood fence, right? First we just gave an intro, about wood fences. So that's pure awareness. Now we start working through benefits and features. Here's some options, right? We're starting to get deeper down the funnel. We're telling a story as we go down the page. We're educating them and walking them through. And then depending on, how much content you have on your site, how much content you have available, this page can get really long, right? And people are like, I don't like long pages. I like the simple pages. People don't like to read all that. Baloney. That's totally true. All data suggests that's wrong. People want answers. Now, if I don't need those answers, I'll skip. That's why you make it in sections. I already know what the benefits are. Boom. Features, I'll browse. Boom. Options. That's what I didn't know. Boom, that's where I'll stick, right? So that's why you do it in sections. You just skip it till you hit the information that you want, and then that may be where we dig in, and then you give them a chance to make decisions. Here, get a free estimate. This is when you make some of those call to action things. Get a free estimate, design your fence online, get financing. Right? So you're telling the story in order. It's just being a human, but we don't do it on a website. Now we got to get into a sales funnel situation though, because if we're doing a great job, here's what the marketer's goal is. The marketer is, we're gonna rank your ass number one on Google. Anybody does search for anything within 50 miles of you, man, you're number one, number one, number one, number one. You're gonna get traffic, 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 traffic. And we know that 85% of that traffic is at the awareness stage. They're not buying right now. Now, right now might only be for the next 5 minutes until they read some more stuff and then they get educated, right? We don't know how long that is. People go through these stages at different speeds. You want to speak to them when they're at that decision stage ready to buy. We need the website and your materials, your videos, your PDFs, downloadable shit. We need all your content to guide them through the process from awareness to decision. That's what we need to do, and that's done by content. So we got all these leads. Guy downloaded this PDF, watched this video, giving up emails, right? You're getting a lot of this stuff. So let's look at your sales funnel right now. This is called the straight line path to success. It's a straight line. Step 1, then step 2, then step 3, and everything went smoothly, and we end up making money, and we're good. But on the internet, it is mostly a lie. That is not mostly what happens on the internet. If you have a great salesman or a great sales manager, and I mean a great one, their job is to do this, is to bounce people back into play. If they dropped off here, I gotta follow up with emails, phone calls, whatever it is, to bounce your ass back into the path. And if you don't, we call that a dead lead, right? Right? If they sit too long, it's a dead lead. And we don't care about these dead leads. That's the thing that blows me up. I can't believe it. Somebody called you and say, hey, do you install fence in Evansville, Indiana? Yeah. All right, thank you. Click. And we're like, that's a weird call. Then we never got back. Or what's your name, or what's going on? And but it doesn't go much further than that. So we just write it off and say, that was weird. They weren't ever going to be a sale anyway. They weren't serious, right? And it would be natural to say that, but they called. I'm suggesting to you that the sales team doesn't have to be the team that revives the dead leads. This is a marketing problem, not a sales problem. All right? If you have marketing content, we can create the type of content that it's easy to say, man, I don't know why this person dropped off, but you know what? Let me send them, I've got a library of shit here. I got, we're the best company here. The local newspaper said we're top company in town. You might be interested in that. Hey, we've got the best warranties, man. You may not have known that. Boom, we're family, whatever it is. We've got content that we just drip out to these people and try to raise some of these to life and get them back on the path because their dollars spend the same. Here's the real kicker though, is that the more active you get on social media, the more active you are. Like if you start writing blogs, we do a lot of blogging for our guys, right? Now all of a sudden you rank number 1 on Google. This is what happens. You're gonna get a ton more traffic and your graveyard is gonna fill up fast, and it's gonna fill up at these early stages because they're at an awareness level. They're trying to get basic information. All right, four colors. I'm gonna blow your mind. So there's a very famous profile you can take, you answer some questions, and it reveals a lot about you and your personality and the way you respond to things, and it really can be very, very enlightening about yourself. But then if you get really good at it, you can apply it to other people around you, the way you interact with your employees, your spouse. But this is a way you process information. And you guys should be worried about how people process information, because the people that are going to your website and trying to figure out if you're the right, they're processing information. So, yellow, first color. This is a visualizer, big picture, strategic thinking person. All right, a lot of business owners are yellows, right? We got the big ideas, the big thoughts, right? That's a visualizer. So when you talk to somebody about a fence who's a yellow, they're talking about the concepts of why they want the fence. I want privacy. I want security, concept. This is how you use this. If you can identify it, and you're like, these guys were a yellow, this is how you use it. They choose a company that shows the greatest understanding of their goals and vision. They're sharing their goals and vision. They're sharing the concept with you. So you can come back and say, hey, Mr. Smith, I recommend a 6-foot white dogwood vinyl privacy fence for you because and then you just repeat back the same shit they just told you. So you give them a specific recommendation, and then repeat back to them all their concerns, and they get this sense, and hopefully it's more than a sense, hopefully it's authentic, that you understand their vision, and you, as the expert, have a solution for their big picture vision. All right, personalizer. This is a relationship connector type of person. They process information in terms of connection and relationship. That's what they prioritize. So these are people that, like, right away you come to them and one of their first things is like, well, you know, I'm really concerned about how this is going to impact my neighbor. Or they've got more connection, even it's not interpersonal, it could be with their animals, right? And they're like, oh, this is going to be so great. I can let my doggies run, or I can't wait to have barbecues with the family once it's fenced in, right? That's a different motivator. That's totally different than what we just talked about. This is not big picture concept. This is feelings. This is connections. They will choose the company they feel the connection with. You walk in here last minute from your last job and like, all right, Mr. Smith, here, let me run around, I'll run my wheel and we're gonna do 10 sections or whatever, you know, and you do your thing, and you know, step one, you're gonna do this, and step two, you're gonna give us deposit, step three, there's no connection, man. No connection. They're not choosing you. Organizer. My wife is an organizer, she's green. All right, these are people that are step-by-step process. Damn drill sergeant. I am process driven. I can't hear a word that you're saying until I understand the process. Once I understand the process, now I can hear you. You've addressed my major concerns. Now I can actually get into the business of trying to pick the fence. So if you don't have a rock solid process on the day of installation, here's the 5 steps we need you to do. If you don't have that, make one. You may not have to give it to everybody, but the people that need it, have it for them, or give it to everybody. What's the harm? Analyzer, last one. This is data-driven. There's got to be some data-driven dudes, spreadsheet people. They're going to come out at the end of the install and be like, you said there's going to be 132 feet, there's only 131 feet, I want my discount for my 1 foot I didn't get, right? No. Blue, they want to know the specific warranty. I want to know what the details are of that. What do I do that voids that warranty? Like, you know, like right? So there's different degrees of this. Not just because I'm a blue doesn't mean I'm a pure blue, crazy blue. I think maybe the most important thing is about this screen is this last line here. You don't make specific recommendations to these guys because they want to see every option. What are you trying to pull? Why are you pushing that fence? Are you getting a discount on that one? You got to overstock? They want to make the decision. They want to look at everyone and come to it. Even minor guidance can be an annoyance. Shut the fuck up. I just want to make my own decision. Seriously, right? So like the way you approach this with these people makes a difference, a big difference. Your social media content. I'm going to show you an application of social media right now. I want you to see a concrete example of how even your social media gets impacted. I'm going to show you this in a second. This is an actual screen capture off of our Instagram account at some point. It was just random. I just scrolled back a bunch of months and I just grabbed a spot. Let's start with the red, the personalizer, the personal connection. Right, so these are the posts, let's break it down. This is one of our people, this is what she does, one of our people. Of course you click on it, it's Instagram, right? You get the descriptions and the hashtags and all. We're not gonna do all that. But within this screenshot, we are connecting our team, our people to you as people. For analyzers, data-driven stuff. Graphs, chart, statistic. Right? We got 3 for the people that need to see that, make them feel comfortable. The visualizer, big picture. Big picture, we're about Google. We know, you know that. You haven't known me that long, you know we're all about Google. So I make sure you know about Google, right? My language is a little salty, but don't be fooled. I'm a Jesus-loving dude, all right? We're a Christian company, that's important to us. All right, so content is number one. These are more concepts. This is who we are conceptually. This is what we do. This is what we're about. And then the organizer, it's almost too easy. 1, we do digital strategy. 2, we do web design. 3, I'm screaming it, man. I'm screaming it. The people that need that to anchor understand now they do this, and they do this, and they do this, and it's well defined. And so when you do the whole collection of just a random 12 social posts, I have equally matched for each color type, and people feel comfortable, and that's what we're doing, because I don't want to just connect with one type, I connect with everybody. A lot of this is like art or design, right? You go in a room, and it might be designed beautifully, and you almost don't even notice it if it's really done well. You're just comfortable there. And then you go into a place like this that's a little funky, and you're like, this room's funky, right? It's just, and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with it exactly, but it's funky, right? You don't want to be funky. You want people, when they go to your Facebook page, to just generally be comfortable. So if you don't do all this, and all you're doing is pretty picture of fence, pretty picture, pretty picture, pretty picture, pretty picture, here's another fence. Hey, guess what? Here's another fence, and here's another fence, and here's another fence, right? You might be missing the bigger picture of hitting other people that are driven by other stuff than just pretty pictures of fence. So that's what I got, man. That's the 4 colors. That's the whole deal. So let's stop for a second. Any questions, any comments, throw it out.
But what if you know as a company you don't want to deal with a certain segment?
Listen, I mean, I'm not sure if that's a great decision or not. I'm not sitting in your seat. But let's just say that you're like, man, I don't like to deal with, with the blues that are so like point by point. I just don't want all that. Let's say you make that decision. Well, then you're not going to tell people like, I'm not working with you, you're blue. You're not going to do that. You just don't have the things in your presentation that make them feel comfortable. You over cater to the other groups, and you make those connections, and that's fine. So I mean, whether that's wise or not is above my pay grade, but that's, you just don't cater to that group, and they tend not to feel as comfortable with you, so they tend not to sign with you. How do you put this into play for real? And the awareness of the fact that some people are data driven and some people are process driven and some people are big picture, and right, just understanding that, take a look at your proposal and see, are you addressing, it's okay to address all the things. My social media, we hit all of them. I didn't exclude anybody. You hit all of them. So as you look at your sales literature, you look at your proposals, you look at your sales script, if you have such a thing, and take a look. Am I addressing the needs of the reds? Am I addressing the needs of the yellows? Am I addressing the needs of gray? So at least start there. Don't leave anybody out. Let's go there. All right. Then you might, if you're really on your stuff, you might create 4 slightly different versions of several of your key items, including a proposal. And when you identify like, dude, this dude is so green, I can't even stand it, right? You make sure they get the green version of the proposal. It's the same content, it's just you present it differently, right? It's a presentation of information. That's all it is.